how the Force works?
I don't care!
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello everyone and welcome to Casual Rage 206. Man, I can't believe we've been going for 206 shows, and that's with other weeks missing in between as well. As you can probably see, I'm off screen. Oh, I should probably finish. Where we casually rage out about the topics of the week, right? The thing is the topics of the week keep getting like less and less. It feels like they're getting less and less important, especially when it comes to Star Wars. But yeah, just quickly, I'm off screen. I got a bit of a headache. I'm not doing 100%, but I didn't want to call off the show because like in the last, month, I missed 2. So I thought I can't not do it. I got this thing in my neck. I must have slept really weird. You ever wake up and like your neck, you turn your head and like it pinches something in your neck? That's what I got going on right now. So it's a bit uncomfortable. Kind of feel like I'm sitting weird. My head hurts a little bit. But anyway, we're going to get into it. We're going to push through. There's a couple of Star Wars things, obviously, to talk about. There's definitely some Marvel stuff, as you can see in the title. We got the Avengers Doomsday. Casting announcements, I guess you could say. I did want to just touch a little bit on Snow White. Not that I really care. It's just obviously with the way entertainment is, it's more important to the way there's a shift of something within the culture. And I just feel like that's an important one. So we will probably touch on that a little bit. And I also want to watch the Happy Gilmore trailer that we didn't actually watch last week. I feel like last week's stream was a really, really good stream. 5 hours, we EFAP'd Star Wars Marvel Purist and Star Wars Theory, their debate or their discussion. We had Justin on after that. Again, if you don't know, go and check that out. And if you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty good. Pretty good. It just goes to show that when you do have chats with people, like you can walk away like with disagreement still. But at least like, I don't know whether or not I'd even be able to actually have a conversation like that. Like I'd get too, I don't know, passionate. But there's so much that I feel like I could ask the question and there would be no answer for it other than like, why do you care so much? Or because that the person that you'd be debating with, like if I was debating with Theory and he was to say to me, why would you care so much? I don't think he'd say that. Because then I could just say the same thing to him. It's kind of stupid argument, isn't it? At the end of the day. But yeah, so we do have a little bit to go through. But let's quickly say hello and see who we've got in the chat. Moby Mozza says I smell like clams and oxtails. Stinky. We got Jordan in the chat. Yes, please do smash that like button and share the stream on socials. I just realized that I thought I shared on Twitter as I normally, when I set the stream up of an evening, like last night, I thought I shared it and I didn't. And I don't really care though. I was going to try and post it while the intro was going. And I'm like, hang on, I need to click here when this clip finishes. This clip only goes for 4 seconds. Shit. So I didn't really get a chance. Yes, I did see, obviously, Theory's doing his streams like he starts a couple of hours or something before me. Are they still going? Because I think there is a bit of overlap time there. They are. Because I had a look. I saw it pop up. I normally try and watch Josiah's stream. I like those guys. They kind of make me laugh. Especially Mike. Mike, you're a legend. Epic Mike. And Mike Hill here in the chat is also a legend. But Epic Mike on that stream, I love that dude. He's so funny. But yeah, like I usually try and watch that. And I saw that Theory was streaming, obviously. And I thought I'd just quickly take a look. And there's just a couple of things that I just want to point out. And this is going to be sort of a running theme through this stream, I feel. Because the amount of engagement or the amount of people that actually like care about Star Wars right now, I feel like has diminished again even more. And I will get back to you, chat. I see you, Ghostface. I see you, Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. We'll get to the chat again. I will scroll through that in a second. But just having a look at this, like, okay, maybe if Theory was doing one of his what are they, the watch parties or something like that, he might have 2, 4, 6,000 people watching sometimes. I don't know, is it even more? Again, I haven't really paid too much attention. I've paid a little bit of attention. 9,000, 12,000. I don't know if he gets that high, to be honest with you. But just looking at this stream, right? He's been going for, let's just quickly go here. He's been going for 2.5 hours with these guys. Has it been these guys the whole time? It has. So he's been going 2.5 hours with these guys. And pretty much the whole time there's been 1,100 people watching. I just think that that's a low number for Theory. Now, I don't know whether or not that's because people aren't really interested in his guests. I do feel like sometimes that might be the case. Like, if it was just Theory streaming, would he have more numbers? They just ended it, obviously. Would he have more numbers? But I do feel like the engagement with Star Wars right now is so light on. And it's a credit to Disney, really, for being able to destroy this franchise, the biggest franchise in entertainment history, and make it like nothing. And it's nothing in comparison to everything else now. Despite the fact that everything else is also becoming nothing. But like, all right, let me go straight into, this was going to be the last thing that I talked about. Actually, let me finish saying hello to the chat. I'm a little bit all over the place. Sorry, guys. Pro Jack fans in the chat. We got GT Weber here. Hello there. The Backseater. LPs and recommendations. Nice. How you doing? We've got Justin in the chat as well. How you doing? He was falling asleep listening to Mrs. Dash and Stupid Ass Wave. There you go. Good to see you, buddy. We got Salshade here. How you doing, Salshade? Good to see you as well. We've got the great and beautiful Alora. Yes. OG Star Wars. If you're not subscribed, go and subscribe. I don't know why I hesitated saying her name there. Jedi Riff Star. That's Riff Magos. How you doing, Riff? Who else we got here? Chase Hedges 67. Hello there to you too. Good to see everyone. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm going to just sort of scroll because I've got a lot of chat that I sort of missed. Mr. T, I see you. If you remember when Mola and Ryan, yeah, they had 3K. But see, that was that. I would say 3K would be pretty normal for Star Wars Theory, even without Ryan and without Mola. Maybe 2.5. You know, they bought over because there is a bit of crossover there. There is. Can't deny that. I got 80 people watching on Capture. That's cool. That's very cool. That's because of what you guys have been doing with Gatekeepers Alliance. Man, I would have been a founding member of that too, to be honest with you, if the time zones weren't so fucked up. And I wish I could be truly a part of it. Because I feel like, again, like even the shift that I was sort of talking about earlier in regards to just entertainment in general, there's been this, it feels like there has been a slight shift in the way a lot more people, the fans especially, are being sort of more open and honest with how bad shit actually is. But yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I feel like since the Gatekeepers Alliance happened, I don't know whether or not it's just feeling like it is because you know I'm a part of, or I agree with everything, and it's just our little corner of the internet. But I do feel like there's a bit of a shift. We're taking back our fandom. We're taking back our franchise in a way. You know, obviously Justin being able to have that conversation with Theory. You know, I've been doing YouTube longer than he has, and I would love to be able to have a debate or a conversation with some of these people. But, you know, again, I just don't. I think there's been a bit of the interactions through Twitter and stuff like that, and I just don't have the time to go through those interactions and to put in the work to be able to sort of make myself noticed enough to be able to then have these conversations with these people. But I do feel like there has been a bit of a shift. We're taking it back. You know, and a lot more people are now starting to talk about the EU stories again. It's not to say that it didn't used to get talked about previously, but it's being talked about again a lot more recently in regards to the stories that should be, or what's real Star Wars. And these stories are the true Star Wars stories and the true lore. I see you, Melissa Lord. Fear of Femur, I see you too. Is there really that many people who like Mauler and RK and don't think Star Wars Theory is a shill? Yeah. I do believe that, but this is again where I was actually going at the beginning of the stream when I was talking about his numbers and how it looks like they have sort of diminished a little bit, and that could be from some exposure too, from some of the people in the Gatekeepers Alliance. I'm not saying that there is a direct, cause and effect there, but. You know, if people do notice these things, they thought that, they were going to him for, let's say, a lore video. And then, Justin's revealed that he's basically just reading off Wikipedia, which could be false. True, too. What's on Wikipedia could be incorrect. Anyone can jump on there and change something, just like they did with the birth date of Ki-Adi-Mundi immediately. But the diminishing numbers. Now, there was another trailer that was released for Andor. I watched through it once, and I wasn't even really paying attention to it. I kind of like chucked it on. I'm like, oh, I'll give it a watch, and then I tuned out. I don't know what I was doing. You know what I think it was? I was sitting on my couch. I had the TV on with the volume off, and I turned the trailer on my phone, and I watched the TV, and I wasn't actually paying attention to the trailer, even though there was no audio on the TV. How ridiculous is that? But before we actually get into the actual trailer, let me show you something. And this is what I'm talking about in regards to the numbers. Let me, sorry, I'm just putting my headphones on. This is the other, this is why I prefer to be on screen, because then you can at least see what I'm doing if there's fucking dead air. All right, here we go. So this is obviously Star Wars YouTube channel. And I was going to go from Twitter and then show this, but, you know, this is Star Wars official account on Twitter. And we've got Star Wars official account on YouTube. And, okay, there's no ratio there, right? It's 60,000 upvotes to 540 down. Same thing over here. You've got 5 million views, 5.4 million views, and you've only got 34,000 likes. Not ratioed by any stretch. But this too, like you got 2.8 million views, and all you could muster up out of 8.2 million views is 60,000 likes. That's all you could do. That's all you could get. And again, same thing out of this. You got 5.4 million, and all you could muster up is 34,000 likes. We're talking about Star Wars here, guys. I mean, we could go back again before. Oh, that didn't work. Fuck. What did I do then? Hang on a second. I thought if I just. Actually, the entire fucking tab just disappeared. How did that happen? I went back. You saw what I pushed. I didn't click an X. You saw that, right, chat? All right, let me share this again. What trailer should we check? Ahsoka? A year ago. Oh, I would say that's actually even bad too. But this is a year ago, obviously, 9.7 million views, and it was able to muster up 178,000 likes. I don't know, give it some time. But again, I do want to point out that, I do want to point out too how long this trailer's been out for. It's 3 days already. Normally when a trailer first hits, right? Hang on, this is a month ago. This was the other trailer, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see. We'll check it again next week, I reckon, just to see what sort of engagement they've had for this new trailer. 60,000 likes. I don't know. To me, that just seems really low. The engagement that they've had on these, it just keeps getting less and less, if you ask me. Ryan works better on screen. Yeah. Off screen, he breaks things. Yeah, that's true. Man, I don't know what happened. You saw, I clicked the arrow. Anyway, I still think that even if, let's say, this was around the 150,000 like mark, that is still low. I mean, the 170,000 that we just saw on the previous trailer, to me, that is still low. And don't remember, there's also, man, what has happened to my tabs? Wow. That's so weird. Sorry, guys. It was just really strange what was going on there. Now I can't remember what I was actually saying. Fuck. Well, then you've also got the Twitter engagement. Like I said, you got 5.4 million and only 34,000 likes. And I do believe that there are bots in there as well. Man, there's bots everywhere, liking everything. So, man, the other thing too with Andor, I will say, seeing as we're on it and we're going to watch this trailer in a second, Andor season 2, is the more I think about the 3-episode 1-year arc sort of things that they're going to be doing, the more I feel like it's going to be a disaster in the storytelling. Like I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, okay, I might just go back and watch at least the final, I guess, 10 minutes at least of the final episode of season 1, because they've obviously got storylines there that they need to carry on from. And when you do season 1 going into season 2, there's normally like some connective tissue between, whether or not there is a time jump or not, connective tissue between like the end of season 1 going into the beginning of season 2, right? The story sort of continues on from there. It's going to be interesting how they actually do this. Going back and saying previously on, that whole thing that they might have to do, give you a little bit of a catch up. I just don't think that they're going to do this. I don't think they're going to do this well at all. And I mean, look, you know me. I think Andor season 1 wasn't done well at all either, despite what people out there have to say about season 1. This is going to be, I don't know. And it's not to say that I don't want it to, like, I want it to be shit. No, it's the wrong way of putting it. I don't want it to be shit necessarily. I foresee it being really shit. But for me, it's like, you could be good, you could be bad, but I just don't care. You're in this timeline now, this canon storyline, this Disney canon that majority of Star Wars fans actually don't care about. And, if you want to say that season 1 was good and it's a diamond in the rough, that's on you. We've talked about it many times in regards to, how much I know and how much, especially with things in the background of Andor and all of that sort of thing, and how much they've done damage to the connective tissues between certain aspects. The canon, the continuity of the canon, continuity of the lore, the continuity of just the entire fucking thing, really. Lara A. She's always watching later. I see you. Come back, watches every stream. She's awesome. Good to see you, Lara. All right, let's watch the trailer. See. Again, now I'll actually try and pay attention this time. Oh, excuse me. That might have sounded horrible. And if it did, I'm so sorry. All right. Oh, fuck watching it from here. We'll just watch it here. Here we go.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon.
Oh, people
It is
jizz.
a weapon.
And there as well.
The monster will come.
Is that a wampa?
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight. There's a future here for those who dare. Welcome to the rebellion.
Oh man, actually, there's a lot. Now that I'm actually seeing it, there's a lot that I have to say. Mike Hill for his 40-month member chat, dude. It's a long fucking time. Actually, I got to talk to you guys about members in a second. Tony Gilroy is hoping Andor will inspire a Star Wars sitcom or horror movie. Yeah. Okay. Is that legit? Did he actually say that? Did he actually say that, Mike? You might have sent me something, and if you did, that's insane. Inspire a sitcom. Wow. Everybody says that. Is that a wampa? All right, let's go through this for a second. I don't really care about the dialogue stuff because the dialogue stuff, like, who cares, really? And being that this does take place over a 4-year time span, 3 episodes a year. The other thing too, in regards to that, is there going to be time jumps between episodes within a year's period, or is this just one isolated event within that year out from Rogue One? Does that make sense? I hope that does, because it made sense in my head. If you need me to elaborate, let me just quickly try and explain. So we got 3 episodes that take place in a year, 4 years out from Rogue One. Then the next 3 episodes is 3 years out. Next episode's 2 years out. And then the last 3 episodes is a year out from Rogue One. And it's supposed to roll into Rogue One. This is why they originally announced that they were doing 5 seasons. But what I'm trying to say is episode 1, let's say 4 years out, like exactly 4 years out. And then episode 2 is 3 years and 6 months out. So there's a 6-month time jump between episodes 1 and episodes 2. And let's say another 6-month time jump. So yes, that is all within a year, but there's 6 months between episodes. Or, like I said, is it an isolated little story that takes place within that year? It's such a ridiculous concept of them, how they're doing this. It blows my mind. Because then and the other thing too is that there are going to be people, possible normies. I mean, look, I think based on the numbers and based on how Star Wars is, I very much doubt that there's too many normies out there that are actually paying attention and actually caring to watch. There would be a couple, but even those couple, do they know that there's going to be a year time jump between episodes 3 and episodes 4 of season 2? And then another year time jump between episode 6 and episode 7 of season 2? Probably not. Back to breaking this down. I think it does look good. There are images in this that look better, and I think it's again because they use practical sets. They're actually, you know, out on set somewhere, you know, as opposed to filming in the volume. Now, I have no doubt that there might be some of this that is filmed in the volume, but it does look a hell of a lot better than some of the other stuff that they do. And I'll give him that. You got Sol Guerrero. I mean, I think there's only one thing that we can really do when we see these things, right? We got Mon Mothma in the Senate chambers. Now, I think I've made my thoughts on what they did with Mon Mothma very clear. And it annoys me that nobody else sees the destruction that they're doing to Mon Mothma. But that's because, again, you know a lot more about Mon Mothma when you read the EU, more so than what you get out of any of the movies. True, there's not much character development that we get from Mon Mothma through the movies, if really any at all. She's a very important character. She's a very strong character. She's inspired. She's fearful. She's everything. But she holds the weight of that on her shoulders. There's a great moment, a really great moment in the Thrawn trilogy where Garm Bel Iblis, I think that's who it is, they used to be a part of the rebellion in the early stages of the rebellion. And this is a little bit of spoilers here for some EU content, right? There's this great moment when Thrawn, in the last book of the trilogy, Thrawn comes and attacks Coruscant, right? And his strategy for that attack is unbelievably fucking great. And Garm is like, Leia is like, you've got to put this aside. Thousands of people are going to die if you don't take command, right? And he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it because Mon Mothma will never fully trust me. She'll always be looking over my shoulder. It's got to come from her. And then Leia goes to him, I'll go and speak to Mon Mothma about it and make sure she reinstates you. And he's like, you can't do that either because that's you. Like, it has to come from her. And then there's this great moment where Mon Mothma walks in the room. Leia's like taken aback and like she's apologizing because she doesn't like talking about people behind their backs. And Mon Mothma's like, it's completely fine. And then Mon Mothma goes to ask Garm to actually take command, but it's almost like she can't say it. And in the moment that she can't say it, Garm stands up, full attention, salutes her and requests to be reinstated. And she goes, thank you. And there's this moment between them. And then it cuts to Leia's perspective of what's going on. And she's like, man, some crazy shit must have happened between these two in the past for me to have just witnessed what I basically just witnessed. There's so much character work that goes into the EU that is just not portrayed in any form of Disney Star Wars. It's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable how much they actually destroyed Mon Mothma in season 1 of Andor. I will always be on that boat and I will die on that hill no matter what anybody says. Oh, they did Mon Mothma really well. No, they certainly did not. They certainly did not. You know, okay, if you want to argue the facts, and we've gone over this multiple times, I don't know how many people have heard it. I don't know how many people here haven't heard what I've had to say about this. Mon Mothma, the fact that she embezzled 400,000 credits from herself to give to Luthen, for we don't know what happened to that money. We don't know where it's gone. Did it go to Sol Guerrero? I don't know. But who really cares? He's now been able to rob from a bank 80 million credits, somehow get that delivered to him without actually coming across the person that actually stole the credits for him. Spend all the credits. We don't know where that's all gone. Did that all go to Saul Guerrero? I don't know. Nobody really knows. But he can't pay back the 400,000 credits to Mon Mothma so that she doesn't have to sell off her daughter. She didn't even ask him, is there any chance I can get that 400,000 credits back? I'm in trouble. Or did she? And he said no, even though he just he stole 80 million credits. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and rewatch it, which just ain't going to happen. But either way, it's ridiculous. But then, okay, let's argue the fact that, yeah, she didn't get the 80 million credits back from Luthen. And she's in trouble. She needs to find 400,000 credits to put back into her own account because she embezzled it from herself. I don't even know how that fucking works. Anyway, why wouldn't she go to Bail? Why would she not at least ask him before having to go to the one thing that she really doesn't want to do and sell off her daughter to a drug smuggler? I don't know what he is. I don't know why Mon Mothma truly hates him. Does anyone? Can anyone that does shill for Andor actually answer that? I saw the same conversations between them and I can't explain it. But then you've also got throughout this entire trailer, did we even see Bail Organa? And I'm telling you now, if he was in it, they'd show it. I'm telling you now, if Bail Organa was in this series, they would show it. 100% they would show it. Got some troops, feet running through the forest. Cool. Andor talking. What does he say here?
If it goes up in flames, it will burn.
And again, everybody wants to talk about he's a good actor. It's a good performance. The dialogue is, yes, better than anything else that we've had, but it still doesn't fit within the canon that I know. They basically replaced Bail with this character. It's a very simple answer. The writers are retarded. I have a bad feeling that Darth Vader will show up. Please, no. It wouldn't surprise me if they do. Darth Vader is a very easy character because you're not going to have a Luke Skywalker moment. They just AI the voice and you could put anyone in a suit. Maybe they just CGI a Vader. They don't even have to actually bring out an actor. They just spend the money. But yeah, where is Bail Organa? Let's see what else is there in this trailer. Some stormtroopers running out. It looks like she's been, again, is this year 3? Is this a year out? I don't know. Biggs, I think her name is, or Bix, Bricks. And then the Empire shows up and she's all worried. Oh, dum. Ahsoka might show up. This is the thing, though, too, is it certainly wouldn't surprise me if some of these things were to happen. Mon Mothma again. Oh, there's the next one. Hold on. What's his fucking name? Krennic. We're going to see him find his, the partnership with... what's the droid's name? I can't even fucking remember these things anymore. Yep, there's another image. And I think I made this point on the last trailer when we basically saw this same image. They were putting the dish into it at the end of season 1. So the thing that I am curious about is whether or not within the 4 separate let's say, storylines that we're going to get out of season 2 based on the 4-year time or the year time gaps between each 3 episodes. Are they going to do flashbacks? I very much doubt that they should or would. There's not enough time in each little isolated story to do any form of flashback. This could be a flashback, but if it's not, then you've got a continuity issue there. Oh, but Rhino, you're nitpicking. I don't give a fuck. This is a multi-billion-dollar franchise, and they need to honor it. They need to, and this is their own canon too that we're talking about, which is the bullshit stuff. Hi, Blabs. Yeah, did someone say Star Wars? Of course they did. Raging Rhino's channel. How you doing? And the Wampa. The Wampa. All decked out. Looks like he's got some night vision goggles on. Seriously. A Wampa? I don't think Wampas were ever really domesticated, right? I mean, the only other time outside of the movies that I've seen or heard of a Wampa was in Mall Lockdown. And man, that's a brutal fucking fight. It's brutal. But the Wampa's not like a Wookiee. And it feels like that's what they're trying to do. That's not a Wampa. What is it? Yeah, Wampa. Yeah, yeah, thanks. Put an A-U-G-H on the end of it or something. Wampa. It looks like a Wampa. Or is that supposed to be an albino Wookiee? Did they whitewash the Wookiees? Oh no. Oh no. It's a hairy Aussie. I don't know the name, but it's not a Wampa. What is it? Something that is it like a Disney Star Wars created character, created alien? Because if I tell you what, if OG Star Wars doesn't know what it is, then it's I don't know. It is. Okay. Disney Star Wars created Wampa. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the Disney Wamp. It's the Disney Wamp. Yep, love story. I'm curious whether or not Andor's going to give a fuck about his sister again. Like, the entire series started with him hunting for his sister and going to a brothel and finding out that there was a person working there, a girl working there that was from the planet that he was originally from. Now, that might not be his sister. His mum might be right. His sister might be dead. His sister might be dead. But there was somebody from the planet. His mum said that everybody was wiped out there. But that's where she's wrong. And he never corrects her as well, which I made that point. What does Mon Mothma say here?
It will come for us all.
It will come for us all.
Evolution is not for the same. You're right here, and you're ready to fight. There's a future here.
Is that the wedding of his daughter, of her daughter? Yeah, that's Mon Mothma, and that's the dude, right? And that's the dad. Yep. No, that's the dad. Is it? I can't fucking remember now. Anyway, that's the wedding. Oh, Cereal's back. I didn't even notice that before. It was that quick. Oh, this might be where he actually gets his droid. And then he's like, fuck you. See that? That's how us vlogs used to give, fuck you, cop that.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Welcome to the rebellion. Okay. Well, there you have it. Cringe dialogue. I agree. I definitely agree. It was very cringy dialogue. But look, that's my, again, breakdown, let's say, assessment of that trailer. I just don't think that they've got it in them to be able to close off any stories, actually go back and make sure that they cover everything, like the sister, for example. It's once again, it's very disappointing. They stole Drunk 3PO's slogan. Welcome to the rebellion. Yeah. Yep. Oh, see if Jay takes advantage of that, tries to sell some more merch from it. Dude, do what you can. That's true. That's true. And I did miss it. But like it's hard to get everything when there's so much wrong, right? So much of it. And you got to remember, guys, I just want to point out that, based on what we know, Dave Filoni proofread everything, made sure everything was okay. Chief Creative Officer, Dave Filoni. Speaking of Dave Filoni, I just saw this before we went live. Thank you, Alora, for doing this. Let's just take a listen to Dave Filoni, and this is the person that Theory thinks can save Star Wars. This is the guy that a lot of Disney Star Wars shills think that he's the right person for the job. And let's just take a listen to this. It's a minute and a half long, and Alora's done a good job with this one.
What happens is she's in that prison cell, right? Is she depressed when you see her? Is she down? Is she like, how's my life led to this? Is she being reflective? Or is she someone that's sitting there thinking, how am I going to get out of here? I need to figure a way out of here. And then the door opens, and here comes this knucklehead in this kind of loose armor. And she's like, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? She's just sitting there casually. She doesn't look like someone in prison. I've never seen a prisoner sit like that.
Yeah, this is the thing, Dave, is that Leia knew that she had like forms of protection because of her status. I have no doubt that there was moments where she was scared and fearful, especially when that fucking droid came in, the interrogation droid came in. You could see the fear in her face. But what she's supposed to be doing as a prisoner, sitting up, freaking out? She's laying down. She's, eyes closed. She's bored shitless. And the way you talk about Luke coming in.
Like in any film, anywhere you watch, they're usually detained or depressed or beaten up.
No, when a person is in their cell, they're not detained. It's not they're chained up all the time, you retard. So this is Dave Filoni talking out his ass, because when it comes to, like, especially at a woman's thing like this thing that he's talking at, because it's so delusional and so bullshit, you have to make up bullshit responses to what you're seeing. Like this, for example.
No, she's just sitting there. She looks at this guy like,
I might say, okay, if every guy that's thrown in his jail cell is actually detained, chained up and everything, well, then I would find that as female privilege. The fact that she's not detained in her jail cell. She is able to comfortably just lay there.
Like, this is a lousy stormtrooper. That's like her first assessment. You're a lousy stormtrooper. Look at you. And then Luke's like, oh, I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. What does that mean? Luke Skywalker? I don't watch these movies. Who are you? Ben Kenobi.
You are an idiot. I don't watch these movies like the character doesn't watch the movies.
Oh, you're here with Ben Kenobi. Okay, I can use you. She's instantly thinking. She gets outside in the hallway, and the other genius is there, Han Solo, right? Han's really cool, but they didn't guard the door. They're not that smart. He didn't lie.
What are you talking? They didn't guard the door? Dude, they did everything that they could to save her. They got her out of the cell, and then they got fucking cornered. Again, making up bullshit because he knows better. He does know better. I can tell you now, when this was under George Lucas, you wouldn't hear a drop out of him like this. No fucking chance. If he was talking about Star Wars like this, and these characters like Han Solo, idiots, didn't guard the door, fucking he wouldn't be working under George Lucas anymore.
To the Imperials as well as she did. So she assesses the situation in the hallway under gunfire, and she grabs Luke's blaster. She says, "One of rescue. When you came into this place, you have a plan for getting out?" And Han's like, "He's the brain, sweetheart." That's his answer. Great. That's really going to help. Luke's just like, "Well, I didn't know anything." And so she takes a gun, blasts a hole. They're like into the garbage chute, flyboy, and they get out. Right? It's because of her. She didn't need rescued. She rescued them immediately. Just take note of that. When they get down the hallway, she says, "I don't know who you are, where you came from. From now on, you listen to one person, me." She takes charge. Princess Leia. Not your typical.
He's an idiot. You know what's really funny is, like, obviously we know about that speech, and the clip from that's most oftenly taken from it is the one where he says, "Oh, another woman character. How unfair!" Like, you all know that clip. Man, because I don't care enough to actually like watch the entire thing. I didn't even know about that. Didn't even know about that. What a cock. Yep. Let's say a prayer for Dave's dogs. Save them. Oh Lord, Almighty Jesus Christ, please save Dave Filoni's dogs from his scary fetish ways, furry ways. Amen. Moving right along, a little bit of sad news, but I think we should definitely pay some respects here. Good old Clive Revill. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The original voice of the Emperor has passed away at age 94. It's a bit sad. But, you know, good life, 94 years old. Rest in peace. Thank you for your service to Star Wars in the original, as the original Emperor. I will say that I feel like, I mean, look, it was obviously a long time ago. I'm so used to having what's his name as Palpatine, and I think that the amazing job that he did was incredible. So, but yes, still we have to pay some respects. At least, you know, we can do stuff like this. I don't know. Did Star Wars come out with a thing? You know, white straight male. I don't know whether or not they would, especially when they can barely say happy birthday to James Earl Jones. Did you pick up on the fact that I fucking blanked on his name? Because I really fucking did. And I can't believe that I did. But yeah, I think Ian did a little bit better. They went back and redid these, didn't they? Yes, also rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Filoni keeps doing that, just talking out his ass. Coming to weird conclusions, and the people around him think he's making some crazy Insight. Yeah, I know. That I feel like that's where theories delusion sort of comes into it a little bit with Dave. I really do. I don't know. The interesting thing is going to be because the people that really love Dave and the people that all the Disney Star Wars shills and seals and all of those retards out there that think that it is actually all Star Wars is Star Wars, that kind of shit. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now moving forward because they think that Dave Filoni's promotion only happened recently, whereas the update on the website happened recently. And I think they did change the title, but it was still the same position. It's almost like they gave him a promotion and everything a year prior, and then they changed the name of it and changed it on the website a year later, and people are thinking that that's a whole new position and a whole new thing. But it's going to be interesting to see how people react to, let's say, Mandalorian and Grogu and Ahsoka Season 2 and Andor Season 2 and anything else now moving forward. I mean, Skeleton Crew, despite what people want to say, is pretty average, pretty shit, you know. But it's going to be interesting to see what people say and whether or not they can actually find it in them to actually criticize Dave Filoni, as opposed to just thinking it's all on Kathleen Kennedy for some strange reason. It's kind of weird. God, is there a way that I can save? There's got to. We'll just do it like this. I'll be invisible. Whoa, that's weird. So anyway, rest in peace, Clive. I hope you lived an awesome life, and thank you again for what you gave to us, the early stages of Star Wars. We appreciate it. We really do. All right. Oh, 100% it was. 100% it was. And this is where Disney failed to realize that the Star Wars franchise was always generational. It was always passed down from generation to generation. They're trying to get a new young audience, fan base, to build, like, so that hopefully in like 20 years' time, when they're adults, they're kind of like the Star Wars fans we are with real Star Wars, but they're the Disney Star Wars, elitists and gatekeepers and stuff like that. That's also too why I think it would be better for them to just stop, decanonize what they've done, put it in an alternate, I didn't even want to say universe because it's so annoying. Just decanonize. It doesn't exist. Just like apparently the EU doesn't, despite the fact that they want to keep using it. Bet you they still don't know who Tenebris is. And Tenebris should be in the Acolyte. Should still be alive. All right, let's watch this Happy Gilmore trailer. Did anybody see it? Is anybody here interested in Happy Gilmore 2? Like, I like Adam Sandler movies and I like Happy Gilmore. But again, it just I've seen it. What is it? Is it actually out? Is it actually out? You haven't watched Happy Gilmore before? I'm not a Gilmore guy. I reckon like Grown Ups is probably better than Happy Gilmore, to be honest. But that's because you got a whole cast of comedians that are actually kind of funny and their chemistry together works well. But there are some Adam Sandler movies that I think are pretty good and funny. But I do think that this is going to not be as funny as the first one. And if anything, it'll just be fine, or it'll actually do damage to the first one. People won't be happy with it. Should have happened 15 years ago. Yeah, that's right. If they were going to do a sequel out of it, I completely agree with that. It should have been done years ago. Seeing as you didn't do it, just let it go.
Arnold. Jacko. Tiger. SpongeBob? What is that? What's with the beaver teeth? I haven't swung a club in years. I'm a little intimidated. All these guys hit it big now. I don't know where to start.
Come on, brother. Grip it and rip it.
I guess I need to update my happy place to something a little more age appropriate.
Oh, see that? Oh, wow. Something a little more age appropriate. I mean, come on. Is there anything better than fucking a girl in a fucking underwear, some lingerie, some beautiful lingerie, holding 2 beers? Come on now. Is that his happy place? Please don't tell me that that's his happy place. What am I watching?
Mr. Gilmore? Holy shit.
We're not done with golf. Let them see the happy I fell in love with.
Let's go. We'll put a little extra into this one. I am so sorry.
Why is it the majority of the trailers and stuff that I watch these days feel so lackadaisical and I get nothing out of them? It doesn't inspire any feeling in me whatsoever. Nothing. Oh, Mr. Deeds. Very, very sneaky. I like Mr. Deeds. That looked idiotic. Man, again, completely unnecessary for me. It really gave me absolutely nothing. Play the original Revenge of the Sith trailer. That inspires. Let's do that, actually. I know, obviously, Happy Gilmore going to Star Wars, but we did just watch the Andor trailer, and that was basically the same. Inspired no feeling. Nothing. Speaking of Revenge of the Sith, isn't the 25th anniversary coming up, or the 20th anniversary, or whatever the fuck it is coming up? And they're going to fucking milk that for everything. And the crazy thing about that is it pisses me off because that is probably one that I would want to go back and see at the theater again. Because it's so epic and the audio and everything, but I just can't bring myself to give Disney that money for George's great work. I just can't do it. All right, let's watch this trailer. April 25th release. All right, you ready? Here we go. And this is the other thing too. Trailers used to be at least decent in length. Now you've got like trailers that are basically like TV spots. They're only like a minute or a minute and 20 seconds long or something. Fucking get all these quick flashes with music over the top. All trailers have sort of a little segment like that, but yeah. Straight into it.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Is it possible to learn this
Oh,
power?
look at this!
Not from a
It's been
Jedi.
so long since I've watched this
Council
trailer.
wants you to report on all the Chancellor's dealings.
That's treason.
We are at war, Anakin.
Very dangerous putting them together. I don't think the boy can handle it. I don't trust him.
I need your help, son. I'm appointing you to be my personal representative on the Jedi Council.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? Obi-Wan and the Council don't trust me.
Learn to know the dark side of the Force, and you will achieve a power greater than any Jedi.
Awesome.
You're under arrest, Chancellor.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
I already have a really big point to make. But I don't want to stop the trailer. Flashes? There's your flashes. But look how much you get. It's not just boom, 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 boom.
Every single Jedi is now an enemy of the Republic.
How good of a trailer is this?
Do what must be done. Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
Who could have done this?
Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become.
I feel so helpless.
You are the chosen one!
So, okay, all right. There's the biggest point that I want to make is like we watched the Andor trailer. What did you get out of the Andor trailer that tells you what this season 2 is really going to be about? What's the main storyline? Now, we kind of know what the story is. It's obviously the creation of the rebellion through, I don't know exactly, but, what did we really get? In this trailer, even the dialogue that they use, even though it's broken up all over the place, you know what basically this is going to be. Is that the only trailer that they did? Like, obviously these are fan trailers, some of these.
Very dangerous putting.
Basically, that's the same trailer. No. But like, again, you watch the trailers that we just watched, the Happy Gilmore trailer. I mean, the Happy Gilmore trailer, it's just fucking like what? It's just stupid comedy. You don't really need to put much into a trailer for something like that, I don't think. But again, if we're putting this trailer up against fucking I want to check something. This trailer up against the Andor trailer, it's fucking... Let's watch the Phantom Menace trailer. The other thing too that I want to actually point out is the music, right? You don't have this overwhelming, even through the flash parts where it's just flashing different scenes. And also too with the flash parts, did you notice in the Revenge of the Sith one, it actually gave you a little bit of time on each flashing screen that came past, at least a couple more seconds. Whereas like on your newer ones that only go for a minute fucking long, it's like boom, 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 boom. You do have to pause to know what you've just seen. They overwhelm you with that kind of shit so that you don't actually see what the problems are. But the music, sound effects, listen. That Star Wars music fading in. Cool shit. Shiny shit. Oh, look at that. Man, remember seeing these images for the first time? Getting so excited. You hear the Darth Vader breathing. Holy shit. Pod racing. Cool. Obi-Wan. Alien.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force.
Oh, then we get a little bit of dialogue with the wrong screen over the top so that we can actually get some context of what this movie is going to be.
You believe it's this boy?
He can see things before they happen.
He can help you.
The Force is unusually strong with him.
He was meant to help you.
Anakin! Tell him to take off!
Will I ever see you again?
What does your heart tell you?
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know?
Anakin
Oh,
Skywalker?
whoa, they're going to have to trust their fate to Anakin Skywalker when he was just a boy. I wonder how that's going to play out.
Meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I sense much fear in you.
Well, people didn't really like how Yoda looked there, I will say that.
Boy is dangerous. They all sense it. Why can't
who's
you?
that?
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate
Obi-Wan.
leads to
Is Qui-Gon going to have a fight? Seriously. People. How cool is that? Finish your Fosters yet? No, it's warm. Man. Again, dialogue giving you like sense of what the story is going to be. The music, it builds. It's all Star Wars themed music. Not just something like in Mandalorian. So fucking stupid. Or if there's a black character on the screen, make sure there's some R&B playing. We're not racist. So dumb. It all felt like Star Wars. Everything about that trailer. And you know what's really funny is out of the original, 6 movies, this is probably the least, looked upon well. Here I am fucking words around. You know what I'm saying. This or Attack of the Clones are probably at the bottom of the list, but I'd say probably this takes over a little bit more just because too much Jar Jar. But man, it was still Star Wars. It still felt like Star Wars. It still built hype. Who's that character that there was 2 Jedi there when they did a flip over the thing? You see that? Did you see that shit? Oh man, I can't wait to see that scene. Where the fuck is it now? Yeah, look at that. Cool. No, none of that. Might as well watch Attack of the Clones now, you wanna? I wonder if I can just go... Will it do it? Oh, it does. It does. All right, we'll watch it. Now, again, while we're watching these, chat, like, let's not just make this a fucking let's just watch these trailers. Like, think about what we're watching in comparison to the Andor trailer that we did just watch. Think about the trailers that you've watched recently, in more recent times, I guess, when it comes to Star Wars. You know, your Skeleton Crew trailer, your Acolyte trailer, your Ahsoka trailer. None of them are anything like this. Rhino is assigning homework. It's not really homework. It's just all in your head. It's not like you actually got to do anything. Another thing that I'll say with the music, each one of these trailers had a different opening sound to them. But they were all Star Wars themed sounds. Planets, look at.
I will not let this republic be split in two. My negotiations will not fail.
If they do, there aren't enough Jedi to protect the Republic. We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
You know I don't like it when you do that.
Sorry, Master. I forgot you.
Just even the world building in this trailer. We've watched 30 seconds of this trailer, and what we've seen, you know, with those flashes, boom, boom, really well done to go along with the music, the sound.
I don't like flying.
Well, you've lost it.
If you'll excuse me.
I hate it when he does that. Anakin, don't do anything without first consulting either myself or the Council.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. I see you becoming the greatest of all Jedi.
And obviously, a lot of fans know the foreshadowing of Emperor Palpatine and, you know, him manipulating Anakin.
Boy has exceptional skills.
His abilities have made him arrogant.
Excuse me. I'm in charge of security here, milady.
New ship.
They are using a bounty hunter named Jango Fett to create a clone
Jango
army.
Fett, Bob is dad.
We must stop them before they're ready.
Your clones are very impressive.
They'll do their job well.
Blast, that's why.
Cool, a space fight between the fucking Slave One, yes, the Slave One, and Obi-Wan. Awesome.
Hey, fly.
This is a crisis. The Senate must vote the Chancellor emergency powers.
As my first act, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
Hasn't been a full-scale war since the formation of the Republic.
You must join me, Obi-Wan, and together we'll destroy the Sith.
The dark side clouds everything.
How good. I mean, look, we all love Star Wars. Despite how you felt about certain parts of the prequels, you know, it fit and it made sense and it was at least done well enough. And you can't say that there's no nostalgia in watching these trailers right now in regards to making you feel good about what we got, at least from those prequel movies. But I tell you what, we don't get anything like this right now in anything Star Wars. At least Bail Organa makes an appearance. True. Look at that. Fucking Jedi fighting the battle. Look at many of them. Look at this. How cool.
Gun this Clone War
Ah, look at that. Nailed it. Nailed it. All three of those trailers. Not one thing made you feel like it didn't belong. Whether it be the images that you were seeing, whether it be the characters that you were seeing, whether it was the dialogue that you were hearing, whether or not it was the music that you were hearing. Every single part of every single one of those trailers was Star Wars. And I'm not going to do this, but we could go back and we could watch the Ahsoka trailer. We could go back, we could watch the Mandalorian trailer, and I guarantee you, you will get nothing like that. You will get nothing that makes you feel anything like those trailers do, if you've still got any nostalgia left in your body, because I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Honestly, with what Disney has done to this franchise, I would not blame you if watching those trailers did nothing for you. Isn't that a scary thought? I miss good Star Wars too. I miss good Star Wars too. Hey, Blue-Eyed Scorpio, how you doing? I need to watch them because I haven't watched them since DVD days. I mean, since that was, yeah, well, man, I tell you what, it's been a little while since I've actually sat down and sort of watched them in order, you know. And actually, like, I've watched fights from them. You know, who doesn't love watching Duel of the Fates? Who doesn't love watching what is Anakin's and Obi-Wan's fight? Is that Duel of the Hero? No. Duel of the Heroes? No. It's something. Chat, help me out. What's it called? And work. Battle of the Heroes. Thank you. I knew I was close. Is there a title for the fight between Dooku and, let's say, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda in Attack of the Clones? Did they title that fight anything? Because Duel of the Fates really does make sense, doesn't it? You know, Qui-Gon. This is Qui-Gon's fate. You know, Palpatine knew that Qui-Gon needed to be eliminated from the picture. There is, but you're just not sure what it's called. Yeah, see? Even the people that I thought might actually know what it is, like, yeah, I think there's a title. But it's just not as important as the other two. Battle of the Heroes, so important. But, like, I don't think there's really any fights that are more important than the Duel of the Fates. You could argue that the Return of the Jedi fight is probably around the same level, same tier level as the importance of Duel of the Fates. Isn't that funny, though, that the first fight that we see in the trilogy, like the first real lightsaber fight that we see in the trilogy, and the last true lightsaber fight that we see in the trilogy, well, sorry, not the trilogy, what is it? The saga, the 6-movie saga. Are like the two most important fights, I would say, out of all of them. I mean, they make the most changes to the universe. It affects the universe. Like, it impacts the universe the most. Poetry. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom and get another bottle of water. Because I've been drinking so much water. That's why I'm going to need to run to the bathroom. It is called... What? Confrontation with Dooku? No. What, the Duel and Geonosis? Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, piss break. Again, not as important. But see, there's so many important things, so many important scenes in Attack of the Clones. Like when Dooku does actually tell Obi-Wan the truth. The thing is that, you know, Dooku's going about it the wrong way. He does still want to pull Obi-Wan to the dark side to take out the Emperor, which I still think that if Obi-Wan had have said yes and done it, Palpatine would have killed them both. Palpatine's way too strong for both Dooku and Obi-Wan, even if they were together, even if they were allied. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to just, like I said, run to the bathroom. I need to get some new clips. I know that. But we will give you Mozza farting. Be right back. Oh, hang on. I want to mute myself first.
Oh, Mozza, read that.
So Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mozza. That's the type of videos we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I can't pee. Oh my god.
Okay. I'm back. Thank you for being patient. All right, so let's move on to... What have we got next here? Let's just quickly touch on this. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Mandalorian and Grogu. So... Just, I guess, the question in this. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie scheduled to release May 22nd, 2026. Who's ready to get... who's ready? Who's already got it written down in their planner? $125 people do. 125 people. Man, I think I was talking about this last week. Like, I don't know why it's taking so long. Haven't they? They've finished filming, right? Everything's done. Back to fake Star Wars. That's right. Yay. Hey, I cover it. I don't support it. Unlike your buddy theory. Now, this is another thing that I saw. Like, apparently the budget, yeah, reported. Apparently, wasn't it 140 million or something? Is all they originally reported it to be? And now apparently the rumor is that it's 320 million. They ain't gonna fucking make any fucking money on this thing. I'm telling you. It's gonna be so interesting. It's gonna be so interesting to see whether or not we get a profit on this thing. So that's going to be interesting to see, because again, like you look at the well, not the ratio, but the thumbs up on some of those trailers, and the interaction in regards to Star Wars. Now, yeah, you could argue that Mandalorian in season 1 and season 2 were accepted better than probably anything else, even Andor for that matter. But then season 3 kind of killed a lot of that momentum. Don't know. What was this? Oh, they released a hot toy. A life-size hot toy of Grogu. Oh, no. My manager is calling me. I'm really sorry, guys. I got to take this. Let me play you something. I'm really, really sorry. I'll play you a longer video. I'll play you the me being retard from ages ago, because it's at least 2 minutes long. I will be back. I'm so sorry, guys.
I'll fix it. A little bit more. Turn a little bit more to the.
Is that better?
There it is.
Let's see what I look like on the playback.
You're fine. It's good. You want to sit in your bed?
I'm missing my bottom teeth, and I've got a triple chin.
Derp. Derp.
I make Star Wars.
He looks like Kramer addressing Newman.
He does. He looks like he's like, Tim, what the fuck? Oh my god, that's great though, Tim. That's great, man.
Yeah, I'll fix yours right.
Birds of Prey is going to deal with the misogynistic crowd that you guys have to deal with on a daily basis. I'm missing my bottom teeth.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
I know. Oh my god, dude. Rhino looks like he's gonna take a bite out of Tim's head. Nom 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 nom. Yeah.
Hey Tim, that ale looks quite delicious.
Oh boy.
Hey, I like the way you style your hair. It's kind of cool.
Man.
Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Wow. Oh, that's
Are you semi-bisexual like me? You can be a part of our alphabet squadrons. Yes, the alphabet squadron.
I said Lyndon would go to the tree and do some ASMR for you, Lethal.
Hmm.
In your honor.
I'm so
and then
He'd be hugging that tree. And then he'd be punching it and slapping it, going, "You took my friend." Kicking it. How dare you?
That would be you, Rhino.
Nah.
Boy.
I'd be there going, "Why? Fuck you, Disney! Why?" I am so sorry. That took way longer than I actually expected it to. Sorry, guys, but I'm back. All right, what were we talking about? We were showing Grogu, the full life-size Grogu hot toy that they've now released. I'm just curious to know how these things are actually selling. I would say that probably Grogu is still their number one selling piece of merch. Which is kind of funny to think about, actually. So I'm just going back through the chat a little bit. Where did Rhino go? Didn't you hear me? I hope you guys heard what I was actually trying to do there. I had a call from work I had to take. So yeah, Grogu. Life-size Grogu hot toy. Is he flipping the bird down here? It looks like he's flipping the bird. Oh, no. Hand's the wrong way around. Anyway, this is Disney Star Wars now. This is all they've got Grogu. They got the Mandalorian, which nobody really cares too much about, which is slowly becoming, well, more and more Bo-Katan, I guess. Yeah, anyway, look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this movie. I still can't believe that it's May 2026. You know, that's like still a year and 2 months away, roughly. It's a long way away, and it's like they finished production, 6 months ago at least, I think. It was finished filming or something. And it just makes me wonder whether or not, like, even if the budget, let's say, is $320 million, are they going to be reshoots? Is this another example of them really not planning out the story and how it's going to fit within their canon or anything like that? Or have they got a solid thing on their hands right now and they're just putting it together? You know, with everything else that's sort of coming out in the meantime, with, let's say, Ahsoka season 2, are we getting that before we get Mandalorian and Grogu? I don't know. Andor doesn't really matter because that doesn't affect anything to do with anything. Like the biggest story that no one cares about, a character that we know is dead. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I foresee a budget blowing out for this movie to like $500 million. But like, let's say it is $320 million, and let's say it's $500 million, including all the marketing. You know, this is basically what needs to be $1 billion thing at the box office for it to break even, maybe a bit less, 800. I don't know exactly how the figures work, so you can't really take what I'm saying as gospel, so to speak. But like, still needs to make a shit ton of money. And look, it very well might. There's still a lot of normies out there that aren't paying attention. It's just all Star Wars, as long as those people do get to see lightsabers and fucking shit on the screen. But I do feel like that with how much the normies aren't really paying too much attention to the Disney Plus stuff, how much of this movie are they actually going to, well, how much are they going to get out of this movie really at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if you didn't watch WandaVision and then you watched Multiverse of Madness, you've really got no fucking clue what's going on. Wanda went from being a good guy to a bad guy, like suddenly, all of a sudden, without any of the context of WandaVision, despite how bad that kind of was. speaking of Ahsoka, there is a little bit of news. I don't know if we, again, like, this is the thing with these announcements and what people tweet and all of this kind of thing is like, it feels like we've already announced this, that Ahsoka season 2 has begun filming. Didn't we mention this like 2 weeks ago? This is how they keep Star Wars relevant, right? Is they flood the market with announcement after announcement after announcement, whether it be a TV show, a movie, a book, a game, a director, a writer, a fired director, a fired writer. There's constant announcements, so it's constantly in your face, right? But the news is so repetitive. I mean, just look at the Kathleen Kennedy stuff. How many times in the last 5 years have you heard the rumor that Kathleen Kennedy is either being fired, stepping down, not re-signing her contract? Like, how many times have we heard that? The news just becomes repetitive. So I don't know whether or not we'd already actually mentioned whether Ahsoka season 2 has started filming. But you know what's really funny about Ahsoka season 2, or even Ahsoka season 1 for that matter, is that no one, after watching it, yeah, you had the episode 5 hype. The lightsaber's red. It's red. Dude. That's all you've got. Is like Anakin showing up, a red lightsaber being ignited. I can't even go on. There's nothing else. People are going to say that they're interested in Balin's story and Shin Hati and, that stuff. No one cares. No one cares. And again, all I'll say is, what are they going to rip out of the EU for this season? What are they going to rip out of the EU to jangle the keys in front of the EU fans to try and get them back? You know what? We'll finish the Star Wars stuff with this. We do have Seal of the Week, which is obviously all Star Wars-based tweets and comments. But this is the last Star Wars thing, and then we'll get into some Marvel stuff and some Snow White stuff really quickly and just touch on that. But I saw this going around, and it's kind of stupid. I think Ryan was talking about this on one of his live streams, clipped it out as a video. I think I watched the video. And a few other people have actually talked about this. And obviously, Star Wars Theory's stream tonight was based around this. So it is gaining a little bit of, again, this to me just is distraction. This to me is just distraction. To distract from the fact that this year for Star Wars, despite the fact that they are actually doing a Star Wars celebration, quote unquote, they have nothing really solid that's coming out. They've got two things, and one of those things is, they've got three things, sorry. So they've got three things coming out, but two of those things, one of them is Visions, which isn't canon, and the other one is the 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. The only other thing that they've got coming out this year is Andor. The only new thing that actually contributes to anything in their canon this year is one thing, Andor. New data suggests demand is strong for a season 2 of The Acolyte. Parrot Analytics, now, I don't know these things. The only thing that I can go by is what Ryan actually said about it, and it's nothing really to go by, but it's kind of a ridiculous thing to say that this is why there is a high, demand for an Acolyte season 2, who tracks the most in-demand shows by measuring interest, engagement, and viewership across social media, streaming sites, and other sources. Like, to me, that means nothing. I could write on my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, a single post on each one every day saying, renew the Acolyte, let's say. And that would get picked up in their algorithm. And separate people? There are bots. We know that Disney uses bots. And then, of course, you've got the shills and the seals. This doesn't mean that there is a high demand for it at all. I mean, I would even argue that there's a lot of... it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if there were people employed at Disney Lucasfilm just to create, I don't know, 150 accounts and run those accounts as a positive Disney Star Wars account. Would not surprise me in the slightest. I mean, it feels and looks like that happens anyway. It goes on and indicates, other sources indicate that the Acolyte has demand in the US that is 20.4 times the market average. That's what makes me think, though, that it's bullshit in the last 30 days, this is. That's also, too, what makes me think that it's bullshit, because it's so high. It's so high that it's fake. It's so high that it's fake. Because the ratings for the show and how many people watch the show, and I will say there was a lot of people that watched the show, but then there was also a lot of people that just did not watch it, and they were just watching the roasting of this show through their desired YouTube channels, the ones they love. This is a level held by only 2.7% of shows. And outranks demand for every other Star Wars series besides The Mandalorian and the Skeleton Crew. Wow. That also tells me that it's bullshit, because Skeleton Crew is one of the lowest rated, watched shows, along with Andor. And The Mandalorian hype has really died. I am thankful that people eventually did see. It was The Force Awakens of the TV shows, and I called it from the moment we had it. Mandalorian Season 1 was the Force Awakens of the Disney television shows. And that's true, Ghostface. The Acolyte isn't coming back. It's not. 100% not. No chance. No chance. All right, let's talk about something that happened yesterday with Marvel. They did a 5-hour-long live stream where not one word was mentioned. Not one word was uttered by another human being. And it was just constant reveals of chairs. Now, look, they think it's really artistic what they did. I call it boring. And look, despite how some people feel about some of the names that were on these chairs, like your Patrick Stewarts, I'm not excited for it whatsoever. This is something that did nothing for me, a bit like the trailers that we were talking about earlier. This did nothing for me, despite how much I love the characters, some of the movies that they were in, the X-Men movies. There was a lot of people missing from this list. But to do a 5-hour live stream of literally just chairs. Now, obviously, what we're about to play here is the sped up version of it. You know, they went a little bit more artistic when they showed Paul Rudd and they did the little chair, you know, Ant-Man's little chair. But you know what I thought would have been better than what they did here? And it was I was watching X-Ray Girls stream last night. It was last night for me, probably in the morning for them. But you know, she was mentioning, I said that it would have been better if they had somebody sitting in each chair in the costume, like in like their outfit, for the character. You got the title of the actor on the back, that's fine. And then you've got the actual character sitting in the chair. You didn't have to actually have the actual actors. You could have just had stand-ins that were just sitting there with their backs faced, you know, and looking forward. It would have been a very boring 5 hours for them to just sit there, but obviously they would get paid. And then you obviously have that Robert Downey Jr. bit at the end where he turns around, shushes, and walks out, which I just thought was pretty silly because, like, what are we about? You've just revealed all this stuff. Are we supposed to not mention it now? I thought it was just a little bit like, why? Why would you turn around and shh? Couldn't he have, like... Maybe something that would have been better is him getting up and actually saying something. Maybe getting up and saying, and that's not all. And then just walk out. If there are more that are still to come. Because I don't believe that they revealed absolutely everybody in this. Do you reckon they did? I mean, there's no Spider-Man on the list. No Spider-Man men whatsoever on this list of people. There's no Guardians. There's no Chris Evans. Whether or not, you know, you could have had Chris Evans there and people would be, especially after Deadpool and Wolverine, people would be wondering whether or not, would Chris Evans be coming back as Cap? Probably not, because they're making Anthony Mackie Cap. So maybe he'll come back as Johnny Storm. I don't know, maybe. Just maybe. You know, but then they've got to worry about the new Fantastic Four and the fact that Pedro is on this fucking list and he's the one just before Robert Downey Jr. pops up. God, they think so highly of that man. He's so fucking disgusting. So anyway, let's just let's play this and you know, it would be good if they actually maybe Anthony Mackie in this movie isn't going to be Captain America. Chris Evans will come back as Captain America, and maybe they'll make Anthony Mackie Iron Man. Because if Robert Downey Jr. is Doom, then maybe they need an Iron Man, don't they? If they're bringing back everybody else. See, this is why I would have thought doing a Doomsday, if you're going to do a Doomsday and you're going to bring back all of these fucking people, wouldn't it be better to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and just recast a Doom, like an all-new casting, and make it really fucking good? Who do you guys reckon would make a good Doom as an actor right now? I can't even really think of anyone, to be honest. Sydney Sweeney. Fassbender. Yeah, maybe. Except I do like Fassbender's Magneto, younger Magneto. That's the thing too, is like obviously the X-Men announcement. I was thinking Henry Cavill. I did have him in the back of my mind. But like, again, like Henry Cavill could play a lot of different roles. He'd make a great 007. I think you could do him as Wolverine, especially after what I saw. And I don't really care about the height thing too much. Daniel Craig, They're actually not too bad of an idea. Mikkelsen? Mikkelsen's not a bad one probably either, to be honest. Scarlet Witch won't be back in the MCU, but I very much doubt it after her suing as well. No Wolverine, no Hulk, no Captain America, no Black Widow, no Blade, no Deadpool, no Wanda, no Doctor Strange. Actually, yeah, that's one that I missed. No Nick Fury, no Vision, no Wong, no Wasp, no Hawkeye, and also no Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why I think they just haven't announced everybody. Let's keep going. Why have I stopped? Tisha Wright. Paul Rudd. Like, Simu. There's so many, like, this is the other thing too, is obviously they've got the Thunderbolts on this list. One. These are all cool. I just realized I didn't have my audio on. How funny is that? And it's really fucking loud. I turned my speaker off because I was playing you guys clips when I had a phone call. Do it. Ian McCullough. I'm coming. Channing Tatum. Pedro Pascal. And then Mr. Robert Downey Jr. See, could you imagine if all the characters were just actually sitting in the chairs, dressed up? Bring a bit more color to it. But then X-Ray Girl said another thing, that it would have been better maybe not to do chairs, to do like locker room hang-ups of like their uniforms and stuff. The only one that I wouldn't know how you could do would be Mystique, where you're just hanging her skin up. So yeah, I don't know. John Gets Gaming. Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. 10 gifted memberships. What a legend. If you got a gifted membership, give this man a big thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Where's my fucking... I'm always so slow on this. Oh, here, I'll play this for you.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
There you go. I have to stop sharing my screen because it echoes if the screen is being shared. And then fucking SWA comes through with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. If you got a gifted membership off either of them, give them a good thanks. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can find the other clip that I was actually looking for originally. This is technically for both of you.
Thank you very much.
R4. Prepare to jettison the spare part canisters.
Red 2, standing by.
Red 11, standing by.
Red 5, standing by.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you are lost!
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. What legends. Actually, seeing as we just did get some gifted memberships, I've been sort of going through, because I've been saying now for a while that I actually want to change the names of my memberships because, well, we've got Tracking Fobs is tier 1. It's pretty gay. We've got Lightspeed Skippers. Now, obviously, they were all just trolls for fucking, you know, the shitty stuff in Disney Star Wars, but I think it's time to move on from that. So we're going to keep the top tier as the Lore Masters. The Lore Masters is the top tier. Now, these two could get shuffled around, but all I've really got at the moment is either EU Keepers, I think EU Legend. If you're an EU Legend, and I like to play on the words because they like to call it legends, we're going to call you an EU Legend. You're a fucking legend and you love the EU. How good's that? So an EU Legend, I was thinking we could do that at tier 2, but it could also be tier 1. But then I was like, man, what's the other tier going to be? Like, how can I incorporate another tier? And what would I call it? And the other one, I don't know what you guys think about this. It would be the LCC gold card holder. It wouldn't be holder. It would just be you're the LCC gold card, which is the lore, canon, and continuity gold card. So in regards to those last two, you've got the LCC gold card and you've got the EU Legend. Which one would be which? So your base tier, the cheapest tier, would you be an EU Legend or would you be an LCC gold card? Or you've got an LCC gold card, lore, canon, continuity. And tell me if you think that they're shit too. And what you would name them if you were to name them. Give me your thoughts on those. And where you would place them. So I think it should go LCC Gold Card, then the EU Legend, and then the Lore Master. That's how I'm thinking it goes. Anyway, you can respond to that, whatever. But again, thank you to those guys for the gifted memberships. Really do appreciate it. Anyway, back to this. I just think it could have been way better if they actually, they thought it was so artistic what they were doing. And again, this is a 5-hour live stream. Boring. Talk about dragging it out. Like this video that's just under 2 minutes long would have been perfect. And now, yes, they built the hype. It was a viral thing. Like people were paying attention and watching it. I wasn't. I was at work. I didn't even know like all the chairs that were announced. I think I was watching on my way to work. I was listening to a little bit of Gary's Nooner with Chris Gore, and they had this up. And I think it got to like the third chair. We had Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, and Anthony Mackie, and they was sitting on Anthony Mackie. And what? It was anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. A chair would just stay there like this for fucking 20 minutes. Dude. So I thought the way they did it was really, really poor, to be honest. Like I said, even just to have somebody sitting in the chair dressed in the costume would have added a bit of color to it. It would have done a little bit more. I don't know. So, moving on from that, we're going to have a look at the characters that were... we'll open this in another tab so that we can get a bit bigger. So, first 3 chairs. What's the Vanessa Kirby character? Why is this not ringing any bells with me at all? Is that Ghost? No, that's not Ghost. I thought she quit from acting. They must have paid her a shit ton of money to come back. Honestly, they must have. Didn't she and she went religious and stuff like that? She's going to be Sue Storm. Oh, Fantastic Four. That's right. That's why I haven't seen her yet. Of course. And everyone's been talking about it. Fucking, I should have known that. Sebastian Stan, yep, we know. Letitia Wright, we know. She's going to be Black Panther. Paul Rudd, the guy from Winter Soldier, the fucking, what is it? Captain America Winter Soldier? Falcon Winter Soldier? That was kind of cool. Who doesn't like Kelsey Grammer's Beast? Florence Pugh. Of course, we're not going to see Scarlet ever again, which is really, really annoying. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Who's that? Are these characters from Thunderbolts? I know that that's the Falcon. He's going to be the new Falcon. The Red Guardian. And that's the end of that page. Let's go to the next page and open this in another tab as well. Oh, we're back over there. Namor. Oh, Namor. Okay. It's a decent actor. It's the role that's the problem. Ibambe! That's that. That's Ghost. We got Loki coming back. Patrick Stewart, Professor X. James Marsden. Like, the thing with James Marsden, fucking the way he went out in X-Men 3. X-Men 3? Yeah. It was number 3, wasn't it? I don't know. Because we've now been able to see Wolverine in his like actual costume, like they need to do a comic accurate Cyclops. We really do need that. Like everybody's really excited about this. I think this is the best casting for Raven, for Mystique. I really do. I think she's better, way better than Jennifer Lawrence. Way better. I love it. I love Nightcrawler. If you don't love Nightcrawler as a character, like seriously, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, not my favorite character by any stretch. When I say by any stretch, it's up there. But like, I've got probably at least 4 X-Men characters above him. But yeah, Nightcrawler's an amazing character. This is the thing, though, is that this movie is not going to be about characters. There's not going to be individual character work. There's not going to be meaning behind it. It's just going to be a mess of fucking fighting and superhero shit happening on the screen. That's true, Mr. T. How could I be so naive? Ian McCallan. How crazy is that? There's dyslexia for you. My favorite X-Men character of all time. Look, Channing Tatum's thing, I did laugh. And I think the action part of it and everything was pretty good. I'm going to make a name for myself. I liked his attitude. I just don't know. We'll see. I like Channing Tatum as an actor too. My name's Jeff. Yeah. Pedro Pascal, obviously. We got The Thing. See, I don't know. And then we got Robert Downey Jr. So they're the characters, if you didn't know. I just think this is it's so desperate to me. So very desperate that it's actually going to be messy. And the desperation, like, I swear, like with something like what they just did with the chairs and everything and trying to get you hyped and trying to get the desperation that's soaking through with even the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom and coming back to the MCU and, you know, the way that they did that. And again, the desperation just turns me off. It turns me off because you're going to get you're that desperate that you're willing to what? I believe the rumor was that pay Robert Downey Jr. $100 million to come back to do 2 movies. This one and what is it? Secret Wars. And you're that desperate to pay the Russo brothers to come back. You're probably already $200 million in the hole, and you haven't even done any other casting. You haven't created anything. I don't know. These things. I was listening to Ryan last night on my way home from work. Well, I think I was rewatching a stream. He wasn't actually live at the time. But he was talking about, like, when you look at the budget of what Endgame was, and you see the casting so far for what we've seen for this movie, Avengers Doomsday, it wouldn't be outside the realms of possibility that the budget for this movie is $600 to $800 million. And with how the MCU is, yeah, look, there's people are getting excited for seeing Patrick Stewart and Ian and fucking Channing Tatum and fucking like Robert Downey Jr. and the X-Men characters, Kelsey Grammer and all of these characters. And I still don't think it's going to be enough. You think that's the budget? I think that the budget for Doomsday is going to be... What the budget for... Well, hang on 1 second. 5 years ago, the Endgame budget is $356 million. 5 years ago. I thought it was more than that. Oh, okay. So this is the thing. They've taken the low estimate. The estimate, there's no confirmation by the looks of things, but the estimate is between 356 million and 400 million. You can't believe these things when you see them. It made a lot of money. Endgame, what? 2.7 billion, nearly $2.8 billion box office. Certainly made money. Let's see. Infinity War. That was a year earlier, and that was 300. So across, and hang on, that's an S. So yeah, again, 325 million to 400 million. So let's be generous and say both of them, both Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, were $350 million each. You're talking $700 million for those 2 movies, and the cast of Doomsday is double the size. Double the size. And you got big names in there. They're going to be paid big bucks. And think about the names that are missing that we'll probably end up seeing. I honestly think that the budget for Doomsday and Secret Wars combined, you're looking at anywhere from, I reckon, $1.2 to $1.5 billion to make those 2 movies. And remember, it's $50 million for Robert Downey Jr. for each movie. There's $50 million already, and that doesn't include then what they're paying, $50 million each. Isn't that what's reported? Or maybe it's even more. They get more than $100 million for the Russo brothers to come back. Man, this budget's going to blow out. They're going to need to make a shit ton of money at the box office for this to fucking break even. Across those two movies, if we're talking anywhere between 1.2 and 1.5 billion dollars for those two movies, and then that's not even including marketing, man. And there are going to be some big marketing campaigns on these fucking movies. Big, huge. These movies will need to, like, you'd think at least double that 1.5. You're talking 3 billion. Could do it, maybe. I just think with how much the MCU has died over time, the normies have lost interest. My sister's lost interest. She was so into it too. My older sister, who I would never have thought would ever be interested. She never watched a Star Wars movie, and she will never watch a Star Wars movie. I've tried. SWA for $5 says Professor X and Beast were already ruined. I agree. I'm so sick of seeing Professor X die. How many times have we seen him die in such ridiculous ways? I think it's like we're up to 3 or 4 times now, to be honest with you. Mum and the Marvels. Yeah. Bloated budget. The movie is definitely doomed, huh? Nice. Emphasis on doom. Yeah. No, I agree. I look, it'll be one of those ones that I think has a good opening weekend, and it'll depend on the word of mouth. And I just don't know how the word of mouth is going to go with something like this, because you got to remember too that this Doomsday isn't necessarily like an isolated thing like Spider-Man No Way Home, or like your Deadpool and Wolverine, where they are almost their own little isolated comic book story. Yeah, there are attachments to the MCU, and they're being I've criticized them. You know, I must admit, like, I was so up and down with Deadpool Wolverine. And I've been so up and down with it now that I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't really think that there's some good, cool stuff in it, but I don't really think that I liked it, to be honest. It was fine. I will say I did like Spider-Man more. The Spider-Man No Way Home is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. But again, the attachment to the MCU goes to the extent of Doctor Strange and basically him casting a spell. He's not there for a lot of the movie. And then, you know, him having to cast a spell at the end to fix everything. That's kind of the extent of where that interrupts anything within the MCU. E. Clay Thomason. Oh, man, I haven't seen you for a fucking minute, I tell ya. For $10. Says, "G'day, have you finished that crate of Foster's beer yet? Get busy." No, I haven't. I will only drink it on Flashcast. It was actually funny. I was thinking the other night, I got home from work and I'm like, I'd like a beer actually. A nice cold beer would be nice. I didn't even stop at the bottle shop, but I looked in the fridge. I'm like, nah, I'll just drink Coke. I'll just drink my normal fucking thing. I'm not a big drinker. I'm more a social drinker. I do like to get drunk every now and then. I have a lot of fun when I'm drunk. But yeah, no, I haven't finished it. It's still sitting in the fridge and it's annoying me. Every time I open the fridge, like I said to Flash, every time I open the fridge, it makes me not want to do Flashcast anymore. But thank you for the super chat. We've got Ryan Gosling for his 12 months. Just cashed in a year. Awesome. I'll catch the replay tomorrow at work. Thanks for 1 year. Awesome. Well, thank you, Ryan Gosling. There's some great people in my chat, in my community here. Fucking love you guys. You're always here. You're always here. You always help me out. And there's people across the board. Like, you know, I see you all in a lot of the Gatekeepers, individuals, you know, streams, channels, and then obviously them all together as well. I see you, Keely Chow. I see you. I see you, Grant. How you doing, Grant? It's been a while. It's been a while. I see Gonk. How you doing, Gonk? John Gets Gaming for 5. And guys, John, I believe, John, you do have a YouTube channel, right? I saw you on Justin's channel talking about Star Wars, talking about some real fucking Star Wars. Yeah. Weren't you there when Theory interrupted? Rudely interrupted? What a fucking legend. John Gets. Go get it. All right. What did you have to say for your $5? People cared about Avengers because the story was building 100% and the characters were good standalone. Cameos mean nothing. Build, don't milk characters. I 100% agree. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Man, and it's interesting what DC's actually doing right now. Because honestly, if these studios were to just slow down, take a step back, and maybe start building some characters, they could have built some good stories. But instead, they wanted to replace characters with diverse characters, or they wanted to just have it straight away. They didn't want to build to it. They just wanted to be there. And that's not what the MCU did. The MCU built to these amazing stories with these amazing characters where they could come together. They weren't always together. You know, I completely agree, John. I completely agree. Thank you for the super chat. No, I know that. I know that. There's no way that Justin would allow that to happen. No freaking way. Look, all the links in the chat, guys. If you're not subscribed to these channels, the reason why my mods put them in the chat is for you to click on them. Click on them, and then you go over and you click on the little subscribe. And then, like, if you're feeling generous, you could click the notification and click the bell. But, you know, going over and just, it's a couple of clicks away. It doesn't interrupt you listening to the stream. It opens it all up in a new tab. Unless you're on your phone, I think then... Oh, no, it doesn't. And then just click subscribe. It's totally free. It's so free and just so fun. You know, we've got the Gatekeepers Alliance. The great members of the Gatekeepers Alliance and their individual channels. You know, you got Tim. I always want to say it over at Open Airlock Policy, but it's now the United Spaces Alliance. You gotta go over and give him a sub. You got OG Star Wars right here, Laura. You got Justin, Star Wars Marvel Purist, Grizzy. We talk about Grizzy a lot. We watch a lot of his shit because he's great. You got Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin. Our Dark Lord. And there's all the channels. So easy. All you got to do is click that link and then click subscribe and you're done. Don't even have to stop listening to me. I've fed you twice today and I fed you earlier before the stream started so that this wouldn't happen. And now that you're doing it, no. Fuck no. Fuck no. All right, well, that's all the stuff. We'll probably talk more about that, honestly, on Flashcast, the Marvel stuff. But, you know, it's disappointing what they've done there too with the MCU. Very disappointing, considering what they were actually able to build. Sub to Soul. Don't do shit. Just want the sub. Do it. Do it. All right, let's talk a little bit about this. So obviously, if you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't have heard anything about this Snow White movie that apparently, is tanking. Came out. Now, I don't really want to talk about this for too long because it's Snow White and I honestly couldn't give two fucks. But there's so much controversy behind this that's why it's so important to people right now. A lot of people are paying attention to it. A lot of people are seeing that, a lot of people that have been paying attention for a long time is actually starting to see a shift again in the culture. And it's like in the way people are actually assessing the entertainment that they want to watch now. And they've done this to themselves. Hollywood and the people there have done this to themselves. Look at fucking, what's his name? I was about to say Al Pacino, but it's the other one. Fuck, why am I blanking on his name? He's got TDS like you wouldn't believe. Got trolled by that Trump guy, the Trump impersonator guy. Oh my God. See, that's the thing. He's removed himself from fucking relevance to the point where now I've De Niro. Robert fucking De Niro. He came out with a movie recently and it has tanked. Completely tanked. I did see that too. It's down to 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Yep. 200,000 reviews. And now there's stories coming out about the producer's son, making a statement or, coming out and saying that the producer actually had to fly across the country or something or fly to wherever Rachel Zegler was to basically put her back in her place and say, can you stop with all of this stuff? And I bet you she's so naive and so dumb and so stupid that she thought, no, how dare you come and mansplain to me? It wouldn't surprise me if a lawsuit comes out of it from Rachel Zegler to the producer for trying to censor her speech. No, not Alec Baldwin. It was definitely Robert De Niro. I mean, that Rust movie ain't going to do fucking shit either, to be honest. The only way that it possibly could is if all proceeds, all profits go to fucking the deceased's family. Then people might just, yeah, okay, let's just give it to so that we can support them. But this is huge. This is huge. Honestly, you would have thought that the international numbers should be way, way better than the domestic numbers. But this thing hasn't even hit 100 million worldwide. This is a disaster. This is a nightmare for Disney. And you've been hearing it from everyone. I'm not saying anything that you haven't either already heard from someone else or already believed yourself based on what you've already seen. But I tell you what, this is what's happened to the entertainment industry. People have completely lost faith, lost trust in any of the stories that you're showing. Whether it be an adult story, something for the adults, or whether it be even something for the kids, the parents don't trust you. And again, you did that to yourself during the whole, what was it? The parental guidance fucking bill or whatever the fuck that was. Parents don't trust you anymore. And, I would argue, people want to say that Rachel Zegler's comments and the amount of controversy that she put behind this movie is what has made this movie tank as much as it has. I'm sorry, but even if Rachel Zegler didn't say what she said, didn't even say a word, but was actually cast as a non-white Snow White, and the dwarves still, the controversy behind what the fucktard the dwarf said, his name, and you fucking all of that stuff, and they still just did the CGI dwarves. I honestly don't think that this movie does that much better. I'm not going to say that what Rachel Zegler said and did didn't have an effect. It did. It did. But people were already complaining about this stuff. And especially with what happened during the election and all of those sorts of things, with having a dark-skinned Snow White. I don't want to say a black Snow White because she's not like black. She's just got her skin isn't white as snow. Let's say that. And then the CGI dwarves with Peter Dinklage and his comments and stuff, all of that stuff still, and, you know, on top of the fact that Disney's remakes, that's all they seem to want to do these days is the live action remakes. And, you know, when it comes to the remakes, they've all been worse than the originals. Every single one that I have ever spoken to about, whether I've seen it myself or heard from someone else, nothing has been able to top the original. So to me, it's just milking it. But the funny thing is you need to make money to be able to milk it. They're destroying every part of their entire vault of fucking IPs. Slowly but surely. And the numbers are starting to prove that. People are starting to pay more and more attention. You know, entertainment isn't what it used to be. I mean, I was saying more than 10 years ago, man, what happened to my favorite show? Like, why is TV, like, we don't get shows like we had shows in the 90s or even in the early 2000s. You know, people would want to make the argument that we had things like Game of Thrones and things like Breaking Bad and stuff like that. And yeah, there was some great shit that did come out, but it just seemed that there was a lot of crap out there too. And that's where the entire thing with the pilot system has sort of gone out the window, where they used to test a show before they just did it. Now they're just doing them and they're throwing money down the toilet. And they're certainly not listening to any of the fans. You know, what do you reckon the main demographic of fan is for Snow White? Would you say women? Would you say white women? Or would you say just all women in general? I think all women in general could have loved Snow White, you know, liked the story, loved the love story. I don't think you have to isolate it to just a race of women. Otherwise, you're sort of making the same argument with like Star Wars, right? Oh, the female audience couldn't identify with Luke Skywalker. Bullshit. Of course they can. So the main demographic for this show is for, you know, and the majority, especially after what we've seen just happen with the election and stuff like that, majority of women, I think, out there still want to have their traditional gender roles and positions. Now, obviously, with the way life is and how hard, you know, it is right now and living expenses and all of that sort of thing, I think there's a lot of women out there that do need to work, despite that whether or not they actually want to work or be at home with the kids or whatever else the case may be, right? But I think most normal women still want to find love and true love, and they believe in all of that stuff. The love story is still real. You know, I mean, I fucking remember watching Snow White as a kid with like my sisters and whatever else. And it's not like I thought that it was fucking shit. This is fucking gay, like love story, blah, blah, blah. You know, there were so many Disney princess stories out there. It's not like I never watched Little Mermaid. It's not like I never watched Aladdin, Lion King, fucking Cinderella. I've seen all of them. Pretty sure most people have. Because it wasn't like necessarily sort of, they were targeting the female audience, yes. But Star Wars was targeting the male audience, and there were still females that watched it and got enjoyment out of it, got something out of the story. And especially as a kid, any cartoon was fucking cool. My sister was obsessed with, my younger sister was obsessed with Madeline. And I'm 7 years older than my younger sister. And that opening song, like if I ever hear that song, like it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Anyway, this is a disaster for Disney. I think we've heard it over and over again. I don't think it's going to get any better. And we always see a major drop-off with these things because the people that are interested in going and seeing this, go and see it opening weekend or opening week. And then after that, it just falls off a cliff. So if this thing can't even break $100 million in its first week, man, they're going to have a lot of shills going and rewatching this movie 100 times over. I reckon Disney might start even paying them just to try and get the numbers up, to try and fluff the numbers. I used to watch Madeline as a kid. I'm Madeline. Oh, no. No. We're not going there. We're not doing that. So, look, we'll wait and see again what happens with Snow White, whether or not this is a true indication of whether or not it's actually Sing It, Rhino. No, I'm not singing it. Whether or not this is an indication of actually a shift or whether or not this is just a blip in the ocean and we just go back to normal programming once the next thing comes out. Because it seems to be the case with Star Wars, right? We have a disaster like something like the Acolyte. Everybody's fucking shitting all over it. And then we get something as bad as Skeleton Crew, but it's fine. It's for kids. I understand fucking Melvin getting pissed off. He was pissed. All that momentum gone. All because this was fine. You hear that? I don't know, buddy. You know how annoying you are, right? Yeah, don't look at me like that. He looks away. No. I fed... He's going to be annoying for this last bit. All right, let's do Seal of the Week. Hey, we got 44 people watching. How you doing, guys? You enjoying the stream? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please hit the like button if you haven't. Smash that like button already. Force choke it to death. Force choke it. Like Vader force choked Padme. It'd be cool to like have force powers in the bedroom. Force choking. Like playfully. You know. You could pull her hair and choke her with the force. How good's that? All right, enough of that. Oh man, maybe I do just need to fucking give this cat some food. Why? What's wrong? What did I do? What did I say? All right, fuck ya. Look, all right. Fuck. Give me like a minute. This is fucking bullshit. You and your fucking stomach.
Not bad, not bad. Now you. Not bad, not bad. Now you...
Funny thing is it's never Charles that's complaining. It's always Eric.
Not bad, not bad. Now you...
I don't know why that image is so squashed up. I think it was Skirmitar that made these.
Not bad, not bad. Now you...
Very good. What the fuck is this? They're old, man. Like me. All right. Let's do seal of the week, shall we? See your seal emojis in the chat.
I'm all the Jedi.
All right. We got a new nominee for nominee number 1 this week. It's Andreas Cabrera. I don't even know if I said that right. He says, let's see. No pronouns, so we're going to assume based on the picture. He says, The Force Awakens is awesome. The Last Jedi is awesome. The Rise of Skywalker is awesome. The sequels are awesome. You sound like a robot. Disney Star Wars is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team of shills. Everything is awesome when you love Disney Star Wars. There, I sung for you, OG. There's your first nominee. There's your first nominee. Your second nominee, he gets votes all the time, is Darth Thunder. Says, Ahsoka season 1 was great, but season 2 is going to be even better. Who's excited? You know, his little cock's excited. There you go. He's excited for season 2 of Ahsoka with fake Thrawn, Balin, and fake rebels, and Anakin, and red lightsabers, and Vader. He vaded. And then last but not least, of course, we couldn't go a week without nominating Jacob. J.I. Jacob says, the sequel trilogy had more of a plan than people think. J.J. Abrams wrote story treatments for all 3 films. That may be true. But then Rian Johnson came along and fucked it all up. Were all made with passion and will age just as well as the original and prequel trilogies. You say this a lot, fucking J.I. Acob, fake wife, dude. Most Star Wars projects become more widely accepted as time goes on. The thing is, though, is like you guys were saying, like 10 years ago, that in 10 years' time, these things will be like pretty much like what we 7, 8, 9 years out, something like that. That, you know, give it that amount of time and they will be accepted as masterpieces. We are now there. And I think that they are even more despised than they were when they first came out by more people. Because more people have either over time had the goggles taken off, the beer goggles taken off, and they've been listening to other people and realizing how shit they actually are. So if anything, they have actually aged like worse. They've gotten worse. It's gotten sour. It's like sour milk. It's the sequel trilogy isn't wine. It's milk. It's a good analogy. Anyway, they're your 3 nominees. We've only got 3 this week. Let me get this poll in the chat for you guys. Poll this bitch. That's what she said. What are we doing? Seal of the week. I saw you, OG, saying clip this. What was this? Or was that me singing? Everything is awesome. Seal of the week. There are your 3 selections. So first one is Andreas again with the Everything is Awesome. We've got Darth Thunder saying that Ahsoka Season 2 is going to be even better than Season 1. And we've got J.I. Acob saying that the sequels are just going to age like fine wine, which is complete... well, based on the evidence that we've got, we know that that's not true. Based on what we're seeing within the fandom, I guess. So get your votes in. Get your votes in. Now, normally, at this time, we would maybe watch a video of Grizzy's, maybe watch a Melvin video, maybe even check out a Justin video. We'd watch something, right? I want to... Maybe this might not happen every week, but I want to change things up a little bit. And I want to talk about something from the EU. Anything. Could be any story from any book, specific character, anything at all. And the one, there was actually, I pretty much already talked about it though, the moment that I wanted to earlier in the stream, when I was talking about the interaction between Mon Mothma and Garm Iblis, which is a really, really cool moment. But because we already mentioned that, I want to talk about Maul Lockdown for a second. Now, there's a lot of better EU books out there, like better stories, better characters. But the thing is I would say that there's a lot of books that, because there's so much content, you can't think it's all amazing. Like in some ways, there is a sort of a ranking system. I'd say that the Maul books, like if I was to put the Maul books up against the Plagueis, for example, Plagueis shits all over it. Plagueis is an amazing book. It's dense. It's thick. There's a lot in there. A lot of story. Takes place over a long period of time. Excuse me. But the Maul Lockdown and Maul Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter, I feel like fits sort of like the very moment, whereas Maul Lockdown, because he's locked down for sort of so long, there is a little bit of a touch on that, I believe, in the Plagueis book. but it doesn't do like, there is connecting tissue, but it's not huge, not as big as the connecting tissue for Maul Shadowhunter. But in Maul Lockdown, you know, I think a lot of people, especially before I'd read it and people were sort of saying it to me, they would say that Lockdown is like your Bloodsport, your Mortal Kombat, your Street Fighter, Star Wars story. And it kind of is. It's really, really good. I'm not going to give away too many like actual spoilers. I think the name speaks for itself. Maul gets locked down into prison. He's basically been sent in there on a mission. And I won't give any of that away because it's actually a pretty cool little story. But he gets sent in there on a mission, and some of the battles that he has, some of the fights that he has, like he's instructed that he is not allowed to use the Force at all. At all. And because of that, it shows how brutal Maul is. None bigger than the fight with the Wampa. That fight with the Wampa is so epic. Now, that is a spoiler, I guess, that he has a fight with a Wampa, but it doesn't creep up in you, and there's no real foreshadowing there. It just all of a sudden out of nowhere kind of happens, right? But that fight, and if you haven't read the book, again, I won't spoil it necessarily. No, I won't spoil it. I'll say not necessarily. I just won't spoil it. But the one thing about it is brutal. And it's so awesome. And there's not too many, like, I don't think there's too many books that you can read that really give you a sense of how, like, intense a fight is. It's actually, there is one in Plagueis. We talked about it a lot, actually, Justin and I, in our second video, and it was the main reason why it actually got blocked, because that fight is actually described in such detail, and it's so, again, that's a pretty brutal fight. The one that Palpatine basically saves Plagueis from dying in. But yeah, I like Lockdown, and I would argue Shadowhunter as well, are so good in regards to, like I said, their connecting tissue with the Plagueis book. And it just goes to show how much care went into these stories, you know, because we do talk a lot, especially on this channel, about continuity and continuity between the stories, continuity between the characters, from seeing them from one thing to the next, continuity of the canon, continuity of the lore. Continuity is very important, right? And to be able to do that in these books that have multiple different storylines, the world building in them is incredible. And the descriptors, like the thing that I love as well about the Star Wars stuff is, and it's again a good indication to show the difference between Disney Star Wars and like the EU is, like, when they swear about something or they're pissed about something, they might use context of the Star Wars universe, like Bantha Poodoo or something like that, right? As opposed to, let's take an example from Andor, where he turns around and says, shit. Like we're just living in the real world. It totally takes you completely out of it, you know. And there's great, again, great descriptive moments through these books that really give you a sense of being in that universe and of being so real that Disney Star Wars doesn't have. But without, again, going into spoilers of these books or anything like that, I just want to give a recommendation for Maul Lockdown. Look, I recommend Maul Shadowhunter, and I also recommend Plagueis, and I recommend reading reading all three of those books, but specifically just because of I was just thinking about the fights and everything within Lockdown and how brutal they are. And again, because Maul is unable to use the Force and he wants to use it, there's so many times where he wants to. And he knows that if he uses it, he's going to get reprimanded by his master, by Palpatine. So, Bloodsport for sure, 100%, man. It's really good, really good. So, I want to highly recommend all three of those books. If there was a sort of a reading order that I would put those books in, honestly, there's not really a reading order for those three specifically, actually, when I think about it. Because each one is their own isolated little story. Each one has a great reveal in them at the end, I guess. Other than Plagueis. Sort of Plagueis, you kind of know so much. It just fills in a lot of detail because obviously we've seen the movies and we kind of know that what Palpatine is and everything. So as we're reading through it, but you also sort of see Palpatine being a Padawan, Palpatine, how he manipulates Plagueis, how he kills Plagueis, all of that through there. But like with the Maul books, it kind of fits in really well with those stories in regards to what Palpatine is doing. But they also have their own isolated little stories and reveals at the end of each of those books. Like I remember getting to the end of Shadowhunter. And once again, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I remember getting to the end of Shadowhunter and I'm like, no shit. If you've read Shadowhunter, you know exactly the moment I'm talking about, right? I was mind blown. I'm like, no way that just happened. He took it to him. And again, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's as far as I'm going to go with it. But like an amazing moment at the end of that book where you're like, fuck off. No, like don't do that. The one person that you don't want to actually go to is the person that you go to. And it's like, whoa. But then even at the end of Lockdown, probably not as big as a wall moment, but still like you kind of did see it coming. There was a little bit of foreshadowing in regards to basically Maul's mission there and who he's looking for. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the expanded universe. I feel like I don't talk about it enough, and it's the part of Star Wars that I actually love. It's real Star Wars. And despite the fact that we're going to continually track Disney Star Wars and talk about it and shit on it and all of that other stuff, I feel like it's about time that we actually started talking about some good Star Wars as opposed and you know, recommending. And you know, if somebody then reads it because I've thrown out a recommendation and they come back and it's like, that book was awesome, even if they don't come back, just the fact that they went out and read it, it's good. It's good enough for me. It was good enough for me. Oh, really? Man, they were fun. They were fun. A little bit disappointing again about that second one. Like, obviously, there's so much in there that and listening to those little snippets. Well, I guess they weren't too little if we got it blocked, and I think he's adjusted that. So I'm pretty sure, Justin, if you're still in the chat, I see you there. So I'm guessing you clipped out some of the stuff that was getting it blocked and re-uploaded it. But yeah, those discussions, I love having those discussions. I love talking about this stuff and going into detail on them when we can talk some spoilers about them. Like the one that I can't wait for, in all honesty, is The Rise of Darth Vader. Like, I can't wait to break that book down because I love it. And I love the way it ends as well. Another great ending to another great EU book. Not Legends, EU. Anyway, let's wrap up this poll. How many votes did we get, guys? How many votes? 14. There's 36 people here. Come on, please. Can we at least 17? Can we at least get 20? Maybe even 25 would be nice. Let me bring it back up again. Hold on a second. I know there's some lurkers there. I know, and I appreciate you. Whether or not you like me or not, I appreciate you. So let's see. We're up to 19. That's good. I think there's pretty much a little bit of a blowout here anyway. So, but I'd still like to. There's the 20. Can we get 5 more, guys? We got 35 people watching. There's 20 votes in the poll. That's 15 people that haven't voted yet. Let's go through it. So, nominee number 1 for Seal of the Week is Andreas, who said that everything is awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of Disney Star Wars. I'm not singing it again. But yeah, it goes on to say The Force Awakens was awesome, Last Jedi is awesome, Rise of Skywalker is awesome, and the sequels are just awesome. We had Darth Thunder saying that Ahsoka Season 2 is going to be better than Ahsoka Season 1, and who's excited for it. And we also had J.I. Acob coming in and talking about how the sequels are just getting better over time and how there was always a plan. And these were the treatments. The thing that he's failing to realize is that this movie in here completely derailed any sort of outline or treatment that J.J. Abrams had. And that's very evident. And you're failing to realize that that actually happened, I think, in that statement. So there we go. There we go. There are your 3 nominees. Oh, we got 23. Come on, 2 more. I know that you're lurking out there, and I know I haven't been on screen all stream. Next week, I'll be back. I'll be fine, and we'll be good. We got 24. 1 more. There's 1 more person. There it is. There it is. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. We got a good amount of votes in there. We are going to end the poll now. Now that we hit that 25 mark, you guys are fucking legends. Ending the poll. And I think there is always going to be that clear winner on this one. So, in last place, with 20% of the vote, was Darth Thunder. It's interesting. This person, I might have to keep an eye on them because number 1 got 31% of the vote. New Andreas, we're going to keep an eye out on you, buddy. Let's check out your Disney shilling and Disney ceiling. Not the ceiling, the roof. We're talking about the ceiling, the seal. So, yeah, you got the runner-up this week. So well done on your first ever nomination. You got the nominee. But, of course, nobody could top the great J.I. Acob, fake wife Jacob, with 47% of the vote comes first. Congratulations. I almost need a soundboard so that I can give you the clapping sound. And congratulations. But we've got a different way of giving you a standing ovation and applause. Just a slightly different method of giving you a nice big round of applause. There you go. Yep. J.I. Acob won. I'm not live and streaming either. All right. Thank you. We've got to play the fucking thing. Congratulations, Jacob. You win this week's Seal of the Week.
Among the Jedi.
Well, I was going to say that's pretty much it, but then I went and just had a look at what Mike Hill sent me, and we've got confirmation that basically Tony Gilroy did say that he hopes that his show inspires a Star Wars sitcom or horror movie. I'm not even going to read the statement. That's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. How about we just have Star Wars be what Star Wars is? A fantasy sci-fi. Sorry, I was just reading through that. It's fucking ridiculous. He keeps sucking fucking Kathleen Kennedy's cock? Flaps? I don't know. Fucking, I'm going to stop now. Thank you, guys. That just depressed me. Thank you very much. I will get around to changing the names of the memberships. Hopefully, I might actually try and do that just once I finish the stream. Guys, if you're not subscribed to that Star Wars girl, I'm sure the Jack Show is still going. It is still going. Oh, we got audio. So we're going to send the link, give you guys the link to the Jack Show and go and give him a Rhino raid. Rhino raid. I need to figure out how to actually raid. But just go over there, click the link and give him a Rhino raid. Guys, thank you for being here. It's been an awesome stream. My headache sort of did diminish. I did take some Panadol and some Nurofen, but anyway, next week I will be back on screen. We'll be back for another show. You can catch me on Flashcast this weekend as well. But other than that, have a good night, everyone. Oh, before I do go, actually, I should at least acknowledge all the members and to all the new members and the people that gifted memberships today, to all the people that sent super chats. I really appreciate that too. You guys are the best. It's just that extra little support does always help, and it's always appreciated. And of course, I know that there's people that come back and watch the stream. You know, it doesn't need to be any sort of financial support. Just the fact that you're here and wanting to hear what I have to say about some of these topics is appreciated in itself. So thank you all for being here, and I can't thank you all enough. You definitely make this enjoyable to sit down and talk about this stuff. So thanks. All right, guys. Now I'm out of here. We'll see you later. Bye.
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like Dustin Crop's kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautious.
You... Go away!
We bounced too near a supermarket?
How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you.